Yummy. I love strawberries. What about you? Let me know in the comment section below. Well, getting quite a bit of a late start this morning. Got a lot I want to get accomplished today. And part of that includes using this stuff right here. Just got some more, and this is landscape fabric, DeWitt landscape fabric, woven, really quality stuff. And we're going to be using it to work on something that's probably been one of our biggest challenges here on the homestead, especially at this time of year. June and July, or I'd probably say mid-June to mid-August is something we battle every year, and I'm trying to do a better job of winning that battle. I think we're doing better for the most part. That was a mosquito. But I still want to continue to improve, and that is handling the weeds. Let's go ahead and pick this up and carry this where we're going. All right, there we go. All right, so we're gonna do a bit of weed eating with the weed eater, but I have a couple areas that I want to put this landscape fabric down. Our property is sloped, so we tend to, on the slope side where I'm not growing things, is where we have some of our bigger challenges with the weeds growing up, and it's harder to manage and keep them down. So I'm gonna plan to set this up so I don't have to worry about dealing with it as much. I got a plan in mind, and let me show you something. So areas like this is what I'm talking about. It's sloped. Up here we have our garden beds, but it's really difficult to continue to weed this on a regular basis. And when we get behind, and it is really hard to deal with it. And then you have things like this. Plants sprouting, going to seed, and blowing seeds around. I really don't want it around. So it's not fun. It's okay for it there, but I don't want it there. I don't want it blowing into our beds, and I don't want it to be this huge, tall grass here. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna put landscape fabric over this, just like right here. I'm using tarps here, but I'm gonna do landscape fabric on our sloped areas. See right here? Works perfectly. You don't have the grass sticking up, and then you have your beds here to work on. And I'm gonna show you another area that I don't have this on, that I'm really embarrassed to show you, but I'm gonna show it to you anyways, just for the sake of learning. Here is the area that I'm really not proud of. You see here, you have our beds up here, and this is just overgrown. I didn't have any type of tarp or landscape fabric down. So areas like this is where we're gonna knock out today. First, I'm gonna weed things down, get it under control, then put the landscape fabric over that. So hopefully we won't have to deal with that for a very long time, hopefully for forever, we'll see. And also in between our beds, you see we have beds here, in between we have grass that just kind of grows up. I'm gonna go ahead and cover that as well. Good morning, Selah.
Good morning.
Would you come outside and help me once you get done with breakfast there?
Yes, sir.
I was talking with Adam from Farm Life Outfitters the other day, and one of the things that I was talking about as a parent that I need to work on is asking instead of just instructing all the time. That's really hard for me, especially coming from a personal training background where when you ask it, you don't really ask a client to go to do this exercise or that exercise. Is more you instruct and coach. So having to change gears in that mentally from having gears of that is something I'm working on. So I'm gonna go ahead and weed Selah with the weed eater, and I'll be ready for you probably about the time that you are done eating breakfast. I should be ready.
Okay.
Whether you're a parent or not, we all have our struggles and things that we're trying to improve. At least we should always be trying to improve. What is something that you are trying to improve and work on? Let me know that too in the comment section below. One day I plan to finish the grow room here, paint the door a different color. You can just tell from all the dirt that's around it that when we're doing different projects, we're just touching it, the kids touching it, and it's just dirty. So that's for another day. I've used a number of different weed eaters in the past, from the plug-in ones to gas-powered ones with brand names such as Husqvarna and Steel, you name it. But one of the things that challenges that I have with using those, especially with me not being a mechanically inclined person, so I'm not always able to fix things as easily as others. So I just can't stand when you go to start up a piece of equipment when you need it for a job and you're just pulling and you're pulling and you're pulling, and it's like you've exhausted yourself with trying to get the thing started. So I do like battery powered weed eaters like this one here. I love it when you have a job to do, like right now, and I don't have to start it a bunch of times. I just really just push this button right here and it works. So they're making them to be even more powerful than they have in the past with the battery powered one. So I really like it from the standpoint of just stress, eliminating and easing the stress for me. You ready to roll?
Yep, ready
Got
to
your
rock.
sleeves on?
No, that's these.
I need some of those.
They go
Maybe
over.
not that hot though. That looks a little warm.
They're for babies. Their legs.
I actually had this idea, Lacie and I have for some time, of having sleeves like that were nice, thin, breathable material that maybe also has some UV protection. But it also would be good for you to have airflow in your sleeves, but you would have like something covering your forearms and part of your arm. So something we'd like to offer at some point. I definitely like the idea of that. But those look a little bit too warm for me. All right, in this section of our market garden, these beds are 25 feet long and 30 inches wide, just so you know. So it's been quite an interesting learning process, figuring out how to garden on slope. So gradually we've put terrace in, and to figure out the right size for each terrace has kind of been interesting. We feel like we have it now. In most of the areas that we have terrace, we are able to put 4 30-inch wide beds, which is great. So with adding this now, it's 25 feet. One of the things that I think I may do later on is actually put steps in here with blocks and then kind of raise this section up so it's kind of flat, stare down, make it easier to walk on different times of the year. So one of the things I forgot though with putting this in is our pins to hold it in. So let me get the pins. Sometimes I can push these in with my hands, sometimes I can't. Never know what the clay look like we have here. But I'm putting them in just a little bit, not completely on the edge, because one of the things that I've noticed as different things start to grow up with working with landscape fabric over time, the weeds start to come up, and then as you're trying to get rid of them, you can start tearing up your fabric. So I'm gonna put the pins here, put sandbags on the end, and then when it comes time to need to clean up and tidy up over here when things start to grow, and weeds too, you just fold it over and then work on that. Alrighty, usually after you cut the landscape fabric, it does have edges like this that can easily fray and you can pull it apart. So what I like to do is a little bit later we'll take a torch to it, or even a lighter you can do, and just kind of singe the edges right here so it keeps it from doing that. It keeps your landscape fabric intact. So it's another opportunity to play with some flames. So this slope has a little bit more sculpting for me to do on it, but we're gonna go ahead and put the landscape fabric down. And I hear cheeps. I believe that Josiah told me yesterday that he may have saw a chick, a duckling, not a chick, a duckling at the pond. We knew we had some ducks that were sitting on some eggs. Hear that? Let's go check them out. I hear them, but I don't see them. What about you, Selah?
Mm-mm.
It is so hard to find them in all this here. I need to cut this down, so I'm going to be doing that today, so that way we can at least see. But the ducks have been sitting on the eggs right here. Really in a good spot. There's a lot of thorns and things like that for discourage us and others from going in there, and also they're right near the dogs, so that they discourage their predators away too. But see if we can get a closer look. Can you see them any better over there, Selah?
A little bit.
Oh, good morning, everybody else.
Good morning.
Oh, are they coming back onto the nest here?
Yeah. I think I just went to the breakfast.
Going back to the nest right here. Oh, I thought I saw some little feet moving. Do I? Oh, there it is. Can you see it, Micah?
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. This little guy. Right there. They're in a really tough area with all the thorns and different things that are here. I'd love to be able to get them in some type of tractor to put over them to protect them even more. I just don't see that happening right here. Looks like he's a couple days old. 2 maybe, 3. Definitely didn't just hatch today.
I was sitting up there at the goats and I'm like, wait a minute, that sounds like a duckling. And I thought, well, maybe they're up in the woods, so I came down here and no, I heard them all the way up there from down here on the pond.
He looks pretty healthy.
He does, or she. He just keeps coming out a little bit more. Well, we're gonna go ahead and leave him alone so it doesn't make the mom too upset. It looks like she's got an auntie there with her. But
They're sharing a nest.
there we go. So we're gonna go ahead and weed and keep cleaning up, and then work our way down here. Try to clean some of this up too, so it'll be clear, and we can have a better view too. As we've been here this past 6 years, the trees have just been encroaching more and more on the view that we have on the pond. So really want to just kind of clear it out a little bit more so we can have our nice pond view from our window there from the yurt, as well as just coming out here and being able to go right onto the pond. All right, as I was mentioning earlier, this slope is not sculpted very well. It still needs to be smoothed out a little bit more. So I'm gonna bring the tiller over and see if I can smooth this edge out so we can connect our landscape fabric a little bit better. This is just what I was talking about earlier. Come on. Here we go. Maybe. That almost sounded like it was there. Come on, come on. Oh, there was sounds of life. Breathe. Come on. Come on. Come on, you can do it. Some CPR. Come on. Come on. Come on. What is going on? Must have heard me talking about gas engine, because normally this starts up pretty easy. Alright, I'm gonna give it a break and go read around the pond with my push button. That works.
Hey, Mike. Micah, do you want to help me let the ducks out so they can play on the pond? Yeah. Come on. Micah, can you stand right here and don't move?
Look at there, we got a snake there. Looks like it's caught on something. Let me grab a shovel.
Please don't kill him, Daddy.
I'm not gonna kill him. The shovel's to break the stuff loose from his body so he can move on. So, I'm not sure if his tail hurt. No, I think he's just caught. So we're gonna help him out right there. Looks like the end of his tail is injured or something. I don't know if I hit him with the weed eater. I hope not. But he didn't look like the best swimmer either. So I'm gonna see if I can pick him up with the shovel and move him somewhere else. He looks like he climbs the tree better than he swims.
Yeah, he's a tree snake. He's a green tree.
So we got him right there. We're just gonna carry him. Let's carry him over towards this way. You want a snake for your birthday, Micah?
No, yeah, I want a pet snake.
Put him right here at the tree.
Oh, he's already.
Look at it, he wants the tree. Right there. Come on, get up there. Slide him off here. That body around there. All right. Well, I hope that snake's gonna be all right. Hope I didn't hit it with the weed eater. I'm not really sure. Bottom half of his body doesn't look as mobile as the top half, but we'll just have to see. But back to our project over here. And speaking of that, it's kind of the way things go around here on a homestead. Is you start working on a project and your attention gets pulled another direction, and it gets pulled in another direction again. So we're trying to get back to it. So I'm gonna go back to finish weeding around the pond here. Out of battery. That's the main negative with the battery powered equipment. But you do run out of battery, out of energy at some point. So I only have one battery. I've been using this weed eater and the same battery for I think a year and a half. So I think it's been doing pretty well for how much use it gets out of it here on our homestead. And probably should get another battery just so I can keep cycling it out. But I did accomplish here what I wanted to accomplish with getting this weeded out. So we're gonna head up right over here and get started back on the landscape fabric. All right, so as I'm getting back to work, the dogs are just going crazy about something. I think it's a snake or a snapping turtle. Either way, need to move it because it's right over here near the ducks. They're letting us know that something's going on and needs to be moved, and they do an excellent job with that. There it is, right there. Like a king snake, a big black snake. Our dogs are pretty riled up, especially Pepper here. Alright, so I'm going to try to use this to see if we can help get it out of here.
He's coming.
Don't want to hurt you. Like a Nice snake to have around. Definitely aggravated. Come on back, Pepper.
Oh, oh. Holler. Pepper. Nope.
And he just slides right off of there. Nope, nope, nope.
Pepper just ran straight in. This one.
Oh, he didn't like that one. Nope, nope, nope. Yeah. They're usually pretty calm. This one definitely is stressed out with the dogs. Yeah. Don't want it going over there near the ducklings. Nor do I want to be bit though. I haven't seen them this aggravated before. Oh, don't like that. Normally they don't do that to me. I'm just gonna let it go.
It's a black snake, I do believe.
Pretty snake. So it's getting away from the dogs and the area of action. So I think it'll be fine. It's probably like, I'm not going back over to that crazy area. They got dogs, people, and just ducks quacking all over the place. I think I'm gonna head off to the woods. So it's moving away from the duckling that we have and the ducks, the eggs that the ducks were sitting on. And I think it'll be fine. It's a beautiful snake though. It does remind me of a time that I was raising some ducklings again, and there was a mother sitting on them, and this snake was huge and actually ate some of my ducklings. And I grabbed it. It wasn't as flinchy and as stressed out as this one was, and it was probably full after eating some of those ducklings, and I think it got a couple chicks too. But when I was holding it up, it was like from up here to almost touching the ground, as far as I could reach. That's how long it was, and it was a big snake. But it's moving on. All right, well, back to the landscape fabric, and I'm just going to put down one more because we've had a number of interruptions today, and the day is getting long. Interruptions including the duckling, which was a really neat interruption, as well as the 2 snakes. That was pretty interesting, as well as a couple of other things, including our new tripod that we got from our friend Rosemary. So nice that we got a set of tripods to use for our camera, which we really needed. Our old tripod, our Joby, was just, it was duct taped together. It was just not staying up strong. And besides, the attachment for the camera, you have to detach it, unscrew it to actually get to the battery. So that was pretty frustrating. But with the new one here, we don't have to take it apart at all. We could just easily open it up with the tripod still attached and get the battery out and change it. So, but back to putting this last landscape fabric on. All right, before we put the landscape fabric down, we gotta take this tarp off that I was using to smother out some old weeds. Selah, if you could help me out pulling this off. Hopefully there's no snakes under here. I scared you for real.
Startled me.
All right, we'll pull it back. I don't think there's a snake, but it could be. Yeah, we'll just have to see.
Probably most likely to be a lot of mice.
Yeah, we tend to find mice in there, but we found snakes before too. But we'll see. As long as it's not the venomous kind, I'm all right. See anything? No. All right. I scared you for real.
You startled me. You didn't scare me.
I scared you.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, dude.
Startled is where you jump back and you're like, ah! But when you're scared, you're like, ah!